Hello everyone, welcome to NCERT 6 to 10 class in short. Today we will be discussing the first chapter of Grade 7 History, Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. We will be discussing about medieval period in India in this textbook. Let's recall what we have learned already. Historians get information about the past through different means. They rely on coins, inscriptions, architecture, and textual records to gain information. Historians face many challenges while learning about the past. While examining the maps, as the science of cartography was different in different periods, they looked dissimilar. We have made a comparison of two maps drawn by Al-Idrisi and the second one by a French cartographer in the beginning of the chapter. The languages used for writing were different in different periods. The difference exists not only in grammar and vocabulary but also in the meanings of the words. The same word may be used with different meanings at different periods. Paper became cheaper during the 14th century and hence historians depended more on textual records to learn about the past. Records may be revised at times. This again became a challenge as historians may be unaware of the first original edition written by the original author. A large scale and variety of developments occurred during the period of 700 to 1700 CE. New technologies like Persian wheel, spinning wheel, and firearms appeared during this period. New food items like potatoes, corn, chilies, tea, and coffee also arrived on the subcontinent. Along with the social, economic, political, and cultural developments, a greater number of people started to travel in search of opportunities for getting a job too. Rajputs were a group of people who became popular during those times. Later, the name was applied to a group of warriors who claimed Kshatriya caste status. Other groups like Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, Ahoms, and Kayasthas also became politically important during this time. There was a gradual clearance of forest into agrarian lands. Forest dwellers migrated somewhere, but some among them became peasants and became a part of the larger complex societies of those periods. There arose significant social and economic differences among the peasants. As societies became more differentiated, people were grouped into jatis or subcastes. Subcastes framed many rules and regulations which the people had to follow. Besides, people had to follow the rules of the village chieftains too. Large states like Cholas, Tughlaqs, and Mughals encompassed many regions. As per Sanskrit Prashasti, Ghiyasuddin Balban was the ruler of a vast empire stretching from Bengal, Gauda in the east to Ghazni, Gajjana in Afghanistan in the west, including South India, the Dravida. Historians regard these as exaggerated claims of conquest and conclude that these claims were done to exhibit the power of the dynasty. In 1318, poet Amir Khusro noted the different languages of the subcontinent. Sindhi, Lahori, Kashmiri, Dwarsamudri, Telangani, Gujarati, Mahabari, Gaudi, Awadhi, and Hindavi were the prominent languages noted by Amir Khusro. Besides this, there was the Sanskrit language which did not belong to any of these regions. Dynasties like Tughlaqs, Mughals, Khaljis, and Cholas had extended pan-regions. Now let's move on to today's class. Old and new religions. The 1,000 years of history that we are exploring from 700 to 1750 CE had witnessed major developments in religious traditions. People's belief in the divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. Collective belief in a supernatural agency, religion was often closely connected with the social and economic organizations of local communities. As the social worlds of these groups altered, so too did their beliefs too. It was during this period that major changes occurred in Hinduism. These changes included the worship of new deities, the construction of temples by royalty, and the growing importance of Brahmanas as the priests as the dominant group in the society. That means the growth of Brahmins mainly occurred during this period between 700 to 1750 CE. Thus, they became the dominant people in the society. They had a tremendous growth during those times. Their knowledge of Sanskrit earned them a lot of respect in the society. Their dominant position was consolidated by the support of their patrons, new rulers searching for prestige. A patron is an influential, wealthy individual who supports another person. That person may be an artist, a learned person, a craft person, or a noble man. A patron will support these kinds of person and make them influential persons in the society. One of the major development of this period was the emergence of bhakti, allowing personal deity that devotees could reach without the aid of priests or elaborate rituals. This was also the period when new religions appeared in the subcontinent. Merchants and migrants brought the teachings of the Holy Quran to India in the 7th century. Muslims regard the Quran as their holy book and accept the sovereign of one God, Allah, whose love, mercy, and bounty embrace all those who believe in Him without regard to social background. Thus, we can say the emergence of Islamic era appeared during this time. Islam had a deeper emergence that many rulers were patrons of Islam and the ulama. Ulama means learned theologists and jurists of Islam. Islam was interpreted in a variety of ways by its followers. There were Shia Muslims who believed that the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of the Muslim community. Also, there were Sunni Muslims who accepted the authority of the early leaders, Khalifas of the community and succeeding Caliph. There were other important differences between the various schools, that is Hanafi and Shafi'i schools, mainly in India, and the theology and mystic traditions of Islam. Anyhow, the Islam has made a deeper growth in the Indian society during this time. So that's all for today. We will be discussing the next part in the next video. Until then, bye and thank you.